Hi, welcome to Thursday. We are doing a really quick one today because we're packing a van, ready for retreats. So we are doing a napkin holder. I've got nothing new to show you or tell you. We're just putting it along. We are going to do this one. This one's a really quick one. So anyway, let's get on with it. It's a napkin holder, and we're doing it in Christmas fabrics because I have one that Sarah made me one in the summer that holds my summer napkins. But this one will hold bigger napkins, not little ones. So how are you all? Hi Marilyn, hi Ran and Jean. How are you doing? So, right, without further ado, I have to remember where I'm going. I'm going over here. So I made this one last night. Okay, we've got this. It's a double border Christmas fabric, and it's got this. It's a row of houses with the tree, and there's a church in there, more trees and a lamppost and everything. And I thought, oh, that'll be easy. We'll do cut it out, but I didn't pick that one up today. I've picked up a non-directional one because it uses quite a bit. It's a 9.5. I've just used the 9.5 and cut a 9.5-inch square. But because of the size and the fact that you're doing it on the wonk, you waste quite a lot of fabric. So I didn't do that one again. So I've put a cam snap on it, and it holds an 8-inch. This size holds an 8-inch napkin. Okay, and then you unplug it like that just to keep it clean. But I thought it was really different use of the directional fabric. So today, Jim, we are using this very sweet Christmas, and it's called penguins on it. Penguins. And because I don't need to think about direction, it won't matter. I don't use quite so much fabric. I don't waste so much fabric. I use the same amount of fabric, but I don't waste it, if that makes sense. So let's just put the iron on where it's been squashed up in my project wallet. Let's put a bit of best press on there. We like best press. No, I've not had this one. This one's a Caribbean beach. I think I prefer I have the cherry and the cherry blossom, and what's the other one I've got? Peaches and cream. I like those two. I didn't like the citrus so much. Sarah loves this one. And I quite like the lavenders, but Sarah hates the smell of lavender, so I don't tend to use it just in case anything I make leaves a little bit of a waft. So we're going to cut out 2 of these at 9.5 inches. So, hi Diane, how are you? It's cold in Derbyshire. Yeah, it's cold today. Apparently, where we're going on retreat, it's going to be -3. No, it's -3 today. It's going to be -2 tomorrow. And we get dry weather for the first half of the retreat. And then we got rain towards the end, so it'll get warmer. However, in the hotel, we never, ever feel cold. I don't think I've ever been cold. Now, I picked up this. Where did I move it to? I know I had one. Right. 9.5 inches. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy to cut this. So it's non-directional. So I'm just cutting my 9.5 like that. Hiya, Carol. How are you? And Leslie and Grace, Jenny. Hiya, Jenny and Joan. Bright sunshine in Liverpool, but it's freezing. Yeah, I mean, that temperature really dropped, didn't it? It completely dropped. I mean, it was quite warm last week. I think I was in a t-shirt last week. Today, I've got long sleeve t-shirt, then this. That's not a bin. I'm gonna get cross if I start adding bits to her project bags, isn't it? Right. So I've just picked up a bit of muslin, premium muslin. It's like a really good calico, actually. And I've got a fat quarter. I did a quick maths thing, and I think I've got enough. So we've been busy packing a van. Now, we're not used to having such a small van. We normally have the massive vans, and so it's choosing what's going in each one of them. So, yeah, it's trying to choose what fabrics to take with us that will tempt people. I mean, I know what each of you individually will be tempted by, but it's trying to come up with a load of stuff that everybody will be tempted by. Does that make sense? So, ironing this, and then I'm going to cut it out. But before I cut it out, I'm going to put my I've got a fusible fleece. I didn't have any at home, so I used normal wadding. And I've got fusible. It's a Flusiatus fusible fleece. So I'm going to cut it at 9, I think. Yeah, that would give me 1/4 inch all the way around. It'd be less bulk. So let's cut it out like that. Down there, get rid of that. And then we're going to, because I've got a good corner here now, let's turn that round where I like it. And I'm going to put it on at 9 and cut the rest out at 9. There we go. Not very economical there. Lewis and Irene. Oh, yes. Lewis and Irene's always good. Right, so we've got this. We're going to put it on here. So if I put one there and iron that on. So I want to iron from the other side. You see, all of this could have been prepped, but I sometimes wonder whether you lose something if I prep it too early. So that's one. So on things like fusible wadding, I don't know if this one does, but interfacing, it'll tell you it's got like a little iron symbol and with a number. Like some of the fusible wadding interfaces, they're 8 seconds, and it needs 8 seconds in order for it to melt the glue. So that will go on there. That's cool. So I'll put that there. Make sure that I've got room. Room all round. I can see it. I don't know if you can, but I can see it. So we're just going to iron that on there, and I should be able to get my two 9.5 inches out of that. And this is what I'm going to use as my lining. Okay. So there we go. Make sure it's had enough time. There we go. Okay. Hi, Carolyn. You ready? You got everything? I mean, a lot of you will be in the midst packing right now. Right, so I can line that up with that because I know that my fleecy wadding is 9. So if I cut 9.5 all the way round, like that. Nope, that's no good. Okay, that was me trying to be clever. So I'll reline that up. Well, my fleece has ended up more than 9. There we go. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether that's going to be the right size now. Well, we'll see. Okay. Oh, it's because it should be 9.25, Sarah Jane. It's amazing how you work it out after the fact. So hopefully that one is the right size. We shall soon see. Okay. If it's not, it's all been cut down. There we go. Okay, so get rid of that there. Now, it is a bit smaller. Yeah, I've got 1/4 inch too short on one side. So if we layer all these up like that, that's okay on that side. We're going to cut 1/4 inch off this side so that they're all the same size. Crafting at its best. There we go. Right. Okay. They're all the same size. Now we're going to layer them up. You're going to put your fleece down, your right side of your lining fabric up, and then right side of your outer fabric down. Okay. You've all done this before, like that. And I think we're going to have to do edge of foot because it's all different sizes. Let's see, that fits there. That fits there. Yeah, it'll fit. It'll fit. Let's just pin it down a little bit so that it's not moving. So we're going to start there, leave a gap and go all the way round. So it's easy sewing, this really easy sewing. You can do this as a quick Christmas present. So I'm going to get that one there, that one there, and then we're going to go around here like that. Pin it all so that it is sitting okay. There we go. Like that. Right, we're going to take it over to the machine and I'm going to sew all the way round, edge of foot. Okay, edge of foot or bigger. Where are we? 4. So, hi Iran, how are you? Marion, if I've missed anybody, Heather Price, and Patty, how are you? So, right, make sure the iron's away. What are you doing? Can you see? Yeah, you can see. So it's going to lock stitch there. I'm using edge of foot rather than 1/4 inch because I know that some of my fabrics are not the same size. It's a bit like a Sesame Street moment. One of these fabrics is not like the others. So we're going along like this. Like I say, easy sewing. This is just nice. I've got this 10-inch square. What am I going to do with it? Type sewing. There we go. Like I've cut these at 9.5, but there's no reason why you couldn't use layer cakes. You know, if you've got spare pieces of layer cake after you've finished a project, then you could use it to do this. So we've done one, do the other. So this is based on a reel that my cousin sent me, although I'm sure these aren't Ali's colours. What colour do you all do Christmas in? Do you choose a different theme every year, or do you stick to your traditional red and green? Do you go all silver one year and something else the next year? I'm one of those people that throws a lot at Christmas. If I'm going to do Christmas, I do all sorts of colours. My door wreath this year is going to be in pinks and, you know, all sweetie colours. It's going to be sweeties actually, but sweetie colours. So I just wondered what you all did for Christmas. You know, do you put a lot of decorations up? I used to be one of those ones that put loads up, and I'd wait until the kids went to school and then I'd start putting them up. Right, this is my gap here, right? So I'm going to cut this so it's slightly bigger, and I'm going to pink all the way around. I'm going to cut off my corners as I go, and I'm going to pink it so that my seam allowance is smaller. Now, I've always thought that this is a waste. However, I now know that I managed to catch everything, she says without checking. Yeah, I managed to catch everything within my seam allowance that I did. So I'm just cutting it down, and by putting pinking shears through it, you know it's all going to fit. So just trim all these off like that. Take the bulk out my corners, and then when I get back now to where I'm going to tuck it in, I'm going to leave that bigger so it tucks in better. I'm not sure how you, yeah, should be all right. So, and again, we're going to just chop all the way around. It means there's less bulk in your seam allowance so that they sit nicer. By cutting off the corners like this, it's less, ooh, that was close. That there's less bulk to, you get a sharper corner. So, I mean, you don't need to trim it down if you are an accurate sewer, which I definitely am not. This is why quite often with any of my patterns, I give you a lot of wiggle room, because when I come to square stuff up, if I'm following somebody else's pattern and they say you should be able to square up to 5.5, I'm getting 5 1/4 or 5 3/8, because I think I'm, you know, so inaccurate, but I think sometimes I get one half square triangle which is definitely bigger than the other. Okay, so there we go. Hiya, Helen and Anne. How are you doing? So Patty's just finished a quilt for the senior centre's adopter family for part of their Christmas. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, Heather always goes red, green and gold for hers. And so does Carol. I mean, I have beautiful baubles there, which are purples and teals, I think. And I love them. I try and get those out every year. But my Christmas tree, when I put a Christmas tree up, has got things that the kids made when they were little, and they're in their mid-30s now. Ooh, that hurt to say. And stuff they made me when they were in school is still goes on the tree. I mean, for a few years we've not had a tree. I've had one outside on the front step, and I put lights and some plastic baubles out there because I just not had the room. We changed our furniture and didn't leave enough room to move things around for a Christmas tree, which is a bit disappointing. But I'm thinking about getting a skinny one and seeing if we can get that in this year. I need a bigger house, definitely. I'd like one of those, you know, when you put them out in the hall and you have enough room in your front hall to put a Christmas tree. I think that's lovely. So we're just turning these round the right way. And then we're going to give them a bit of an iron, and then we're going to top stitch them. Now you could top stitch just two sides. That probably, yes, that's what we're going to do. We'll top stitch two sides and then we're going to sew them together. Okay, so my corners are definitely not as sharp as they were last night. Okay, so I'm just shoving out these corners. Most baubles for years, and I try and buy a different one each holiday. Yes, I like it if we go away on holiday and there's Christmas baubles I try to buy. I'm finding I'm loving Asda's quirky sense of humour for baubles. I bought a new one yesterday, and it's a cat in high heels and a feather boa. I've got a dinosaur with Christmas trees on its back and a polar bear with wheelie boppers on his head and silver boots on, which I have those out all year round because they make me smile every time I look at them. But this cat with the high heels and the feather boa, I'm not quite sure. She's a bit creepy looking, I have to be honest, but it made me laugh yesterday when I was in Asda's, so I bought her. Okay, so that doesn't really, I can't get the, but it's going to be on the inside, Seth, stop worrying. Right, so that's one, and let's put the iron over this one, and we're just going to sew them together. It is a really easy project. You know, it's one of those things that I want to sew, but I don't know what I want to make. And I've got this bit of fabric. Oh, that'll make, because you could do it for, you know, all sorts of things for summer. You could have one for your patio that goes with all your patio furniture. There we go. That's snapped, isn't it? Well, that's not come out very much. What's going on there? Oh, look, got corner now. There we are. There's a corner like that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas. It's going to be nice. Right, so we are now going to put a top stitch just on these two. Yeah, just on these two sides. Okay, that way I'm closing up my gap, wherever the gaps are. There's the gap. So we're going to top stitch on these two point on a point. We're going to make a point to it. Patty, you have too small a condo. My eyes are really off today. For a tree, but I have a Christmas wall hanging. Yes. I think, yeah, everything Christmassy. We've got a beautiful Christmas tree panel in the shop, which is a Christmas tree. And I looked at it and wondered whether I should do something with that to make it my Christmas tree. The last couple of years, I've done branches which I've covered in tinsel or something, strung them together so you get a smaller one, bigger, and going down like that, and then put some of my baubles on that. I fancied something different this year. Right, so I'm only going to do the two. Yesterday I did go all the way round. Go on. Why did you go backwards? I don't ask you to go backwards. Never mind. Okay, that's one. And then this one. And then, because the top stitch then will run on the other one. The top stitch, the closing that could have been a little better. One thing I like about Sarah's machine compared to mine, I think, is the fact that you've got a bit that makes it work like a walking foot. You have no trouble getting over bumps with this machine. There we go. Yeah, there's no trouble going over the bumps on this one. It's lovely because it's just keeps going. Right, okay. So I'm going to chop off these bits. That'll be all right. Those bits. And that bit. There we go. So I've chopped all my ends off. I lock stitched it on both. So now we're going to just add this to here. Okay. Like that. So you can top stitch this all the way around, and then we're going to top stitch again, but we are going to go from, so I'm going to measure that, 3 inches, I think, 3 inches, yeah, 3 inches. So I'm going to go from one side all the way around to the other side. So I want to come up and down and there, and 3 inches to there. Okay. So we are going to sew from this pin all the way round like that to that pin, leaving this bit open. Okay. So You try to make a beaded bauble or a decoration for your tree. Yeah, we used to run beaded bauble workshops when we first opened because it was something that I was well into. Right, what am I doing? Yeah, I was well into doing beaded baubles. We had quite a few classes where we did it. We pinned, did pins and beads, and I also made the netted, you know, the netted things that fit over a bauble. Got some of those somewhere. Probably in my great craft stash that I've tucked away somewhere. I'm going up the other side. Come on, I've just told them all how brilliant you are. Now, normally I would increase the stitch length on my top stitch, but I forgot. Normally remember halfway through. And up to the pin now. I'll just pass the pin. There we go. So, where are we? 3. So, we'll take the pins out now. Now, you can sew a button on, okay? If that's, you know, if you don't have cam snaps, just sew a button and it becomes a permanent feature. You can put it down and just sew a button on there. I must have come up further because this one definitely comes down further, doesn't it? Where's me wrap? There. No, it's about the same, but it definitely looks more right. What did you do with those? I've got my cam snaps. So to endeavour to actually finish a project, instead of only half doing it, we're going to put a cam snap on. Now, the cam snaps, it really was a bit difficult yesterday. It's the wrong yellow in it. We could go with pink. Let's go with pink because there's pink in the little thing he's holding. There we go. There we go. So I've got my male and female parts, and this then is going to go through. So the back of it is going to go through the fabric through to the other side. No, it's not. It's going to go through that way. That was a good catch. So it's gone through the fabric. Now you can stick an awl through it, and let me cut off the tip. And I always put the male bit up here. Normally put the male bit on the bit that moves the most. Okay, good squash. We've got it on. Now when that folds, that is going to fold by there. So make a little mark. And I'm going to stick this bit. So the bit with the spiky bit is going to go in there. Now this, I swore at it yesterday because trying to get all of this bulk underneath and actually sewing a button on would be a lot easier than putting the cam snaps on at this point. Go on, go through. Doesn't want to go through the fluff. There we go. There we are. Oh, I've lost it now. Where's it gone? Oh no, it's still there. Right, okay. So chop the end off. I never know whether I chop off enough at the end or not. Now this has got to go through here, and you've got all this bulk. So if you fold it like that, can we get it in now? There we go. So you've got to put the flat bit in the cup like that. Make sure it's all central and in the right place. And give it a squeeze. There we go. Ta-da! And we're finished. So in order to keep it clean when they're just in the cupboard, you can flip it open, and then you do that so people can then just whip a napkin out. So you just put them in like that and whip them out. It's a lot easier if you use a non-directional, but because your ruler is see-through, and if you wanted directional, you would just put it the way that you want it. It looks lovely like that. You sort of lose the effect. There is on this fabric, if you went with this fabric, there is a smaller tree which probably would work better there, but I only took 12 inches, I think it was, so it needed, I didn't have the right things on my double border print. So there you go, a nice napkin holder. This one's ended up a bit smaller because I cut bits off. There you go, really quick. Still 40 minutes. So we are packing the van. We're off to retreat. So there will be no 1 o'clock next week, but I'm sure we'll talk to you at some time. So what else have you got in your Christmas thingies? Free motion tree decorations. Ooh, put a picture up. Show us how what you've done, Jean. So we will see you soon, Linda. We will see you on Monday, and everybody else, we will see you in a week's time, where we've got some exciting things going on. It's Christmas. Have you bought your Advent tickets? You've got up until the 23rd, 22nd, 23rd to buy Advent tickets. So get on the website and buy them. You've got 24 chances to win something. You'll miss this. We will see you soon. It's about time you booked on one, Heather. You and your cronies. You should be on one. Right. See you soon. Bye.